is its relationships with Latin America. I think quite conditionally throughout its background, America has distanced itself from Latin America for some purpose and for some important reason. I think that America is kind of disengaging from Latin America. I think it has a serious concern about Latin America. I don't know what that concern is. It could be something to do with Che Guevara and Cuba. It could be something to do with socialism, some kind of incursion. So I think that's the concern that America has about Latin America. But I think that Great Britain is playing a very large role in Latin America. It seems to be investing itself in Latin America and introducing itself into Latin America. Excuse me. I think that Great Britain seems to be developing its nation with its incursion into Latin America. I think it does have a strong policy interest in Latin America. And I think that it is very heavily involved in Latin America. So I think that Great Britain is positioning its relationships with the world, with Latin America. So I think that's an important consideration for world economic stability and standards and daily life and things. Excuse me. I think that America, with its relationships with Latin America, is perhaps kind of behind the Venezuela situation. I think we do have a situation with Venezuela. I don't know if it's something to do with oil, but I think Venezuela is some kind of a terrorist country in the world. I think that we do have an issue with Venezuela. I think that America is kind of committed to doing something about Latin America because of Venezuela. I think it's obliged to involve itself with Latin America because of Venezuela. I think Venezuela is acting like a Cuba in the world. It's kind of behaving something like that. I think Venezuela is some kind of a terrorist country in the world. It's not so much of a sugar cube, but maybe a salt and oil cube in the world. I feel that America was perhaps behind the assassination of Arafat of Israel. It seems to feel like American. It seems to feel like American involvement. It seems to feel like American involvement. So, so I think that America is behind the Arafat assassination. It seems to feel like American involvement. American involvement, and I also believe that America could be behind Nelson Mandela's assassination. It seems to feel like American involvement. It has the characteristics and behaviour and personality of American involvement. So I think America is perhaps involved with South Africa's Mandela assassination. That's quite important for the influence of the British Empire in the world, for its kind of standing and position in the world. So I think it does have some kind of crucial understanding. It has some kind of a bearing in the world. So I think that's quite important. But I think we had the assassination of the Venezuela president a while ago, Hugo Chavez. I think we had the Hugo Chavez assassination. I believe that was Chinese orchestrated. I believe it's characteristic of the Chinese to assassinate Hugo Chavez. I believe they have some kind of interest in Latin America, some kind of concern with Latin America. So I believe we have that assassination, and that does have an influence on the world, because it's kind of the development of Latin America. It's the development of Latin America. I think Latin America does have a place in the world, so it is so it does have an influence in the world. So I think that we do have conditions in Latin America where they like to precede themselves in the world, but they have contentions with China. I think they do have contention with China and India, and maybe Australia as well. But I think the Latin America have, I believe that, I feel that Latin America have contention with China, and that could be creating an imbalance in the world and destabilizing conditions. I feel that China is very aggressive, very hostile. I believe that China does organ donations. I believe that China is insincere, it's inhospitable, it's disingenuous, it's unkind, unfriendly, and incapable. I believe these are the characteristics of China. I believe China is perhaps disfavourable to world conditions, because they could have ill contentions with the world. I believe China has ill contentions with the world. So I do believe China is a problem in the world, and that's my position on those issues. Thank you very much.